Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new series, which is all about how we could implement Disney theme parks into infinity. What are we doing, Steve? We are bringing the magic of the parks to infinity. That's our
I
that's our new
like
tagline.
I like that. That's awesome. That's exactly what we're doing. And Will and I both figure we consider ourselves. Would you consider yourself an expert or just highly knowledgeable in the parks world of Disney and Disneyland, Disney World? Right?
I want to set up proper expectations, so let's just go with highly knowledgeable.
Highly knowledgeable. I like that. Um, I've only been to World once, but as you know, I go to Disneyland at least once a month, and that's a lot for someone that doesn't live locally.
That's
So,
crazy.
we've spent a lot of time there, and I've met a lot of cool people there that know lots of different things about the park. So, over the past 3 years that we've had the passes, I've learned a lot about it, and it's kind of cool to see the show develop where we can actually talk about how the game would work out in the parks world, and I think it's awesome. So I'm excited
Totally.
to talk about it.
Yeah, man, I am too. I mean, you and I are both park guys, so we're always like geeking out over the park stuff in the game. And I'm more like you said, a person of Disney World, even though Disneyland is my favorite. But as a kid, I grew up going to Disney World at least once a year, and I generally make it back about once a year these days as well. Although Disneyland is definitely, I think, my love. And that's actually what season one of this show is going to be focused on. We're going to focus on Disneyland because it is, it's the original, it's the OG. We can't talk about theme parks just in any sense, right? Whether it be like, uh, not like thrill parks or other theme parks like Universal without talking about the behemoth in the original of Disneyland.
They wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Walt's crazy dream of getting this thing started. You know, is it 55, 55, 60 years ago,
Yeah,
almost 60 years ago. So,
craziness. No, it
yep,
is. Yeah. It is almost 6 years ago.
yep, 55.
So, for those that don't know, that's Steve over
I'm Steve C.
there, Steve C. I'm WK, Will K. Will, we're from Disney Infinity TV. We have a couple shows over there, and this is a new series we're doing. I'm gonna be releasing it over time, and we're really excited just to talk about Disney Infinity and theme parks and how we can kind of integrate the two. We're also gonna be going over a little bit of theme park history here. Season one, as we said, is going to focus on aspects of Disneyland. We're probably not going to get through all of Disneyland because we do want to make sure that we're giving the parks, all parks and attractions, the respect and time that they deserve. But we're going to be releasing the show on kind of a regular schedule, and we're really excited about that. But we're also really excited to get your feedback on this. So if you're really enjoying the show, make sure you type in the comments, you tweet us out, because at the end of season one, we are going to have kind of a listener slash viewer mail show where we discuss some ideas that you've sent in and kind of the things that you kind of feedback for the specific episodes. So if that sounds good, I think Steve, let's just go ahead and get the ball rolling.
I like that idea. I think it's perfect, and I'm like I said, I'm really excited to talk about it. So you mentioned earlier the beast in the room here is that no other theme park, and I mean any kind of theme park on the scale that we're even relatively used to seeing it today, would exist without Disneyland.
All right.
Right? It was the very first one, and anyone that knows anything knows that Walt had this plan going on. He was successful with all these movies and all the different things that he was working on. Broke new ground on all of this stuff, and the animation world will forever be changed because of what his dream was. And he had this idea to build. He was sick of taking his kids to the park in Los Angeles where they would just ride the carousel. He was really annoyed with that because there was nothing really to do, and it was more of an hour trip. And he wanted a submersive world that was everything was like different realms in time, but you paid one ticket, you got into one door, and everything was there for you, and it included rides, food, and all sorts of entertainment stuff. When he decided to do this, every single person that worked for him and the people, his investors at Bank of America, because that's who we banked through at the time, all these people said no. They were like, "You're insane. This is never going to work. This is the dumbest idea ever." And for the people that know Walt, he was stubborn, and when he had an idea, he stuck with it, and he went ahead and did it. And he was like, "Well, that's fine. I'm going to bankrupt my company by using every asset that I have personally and invested to make this thing come true. And once again, a day after opening, all those people were proved wrong because, it's the biggest thing in the world. So
Yeah,
he started something new.
it was an instant hit. And correct me if I'm wrong, but part of him wanting to create this world and the inspiration coming from the him like taking his daughters to the carousels is that as a father, he was relegated to just sitting and watching, right? Didn't he want a place that was timeless for not only kids but adults as well?
Absolutely. That's the whole, like, the point behind it was he was sick of just sitting there on a bench watching a carousel and his kids going around and around and around. He wanted something that the other parents around could get involved with too. And I don't know if I have even a shred of creativity, but I don't have enough to come up with any idea like that. I get annoyed and bored all over the place, and I'm never sitting there thinking, "Hey, what could we invent today?
Right.
What could we do to fix this?" But he was always one step ahead, and he had an idea for it, and that's exactly what it was. It wasn't just for kids; it was for everybody. And the world that we know today, I would say adults enjoy Disneyland almost more than the kids. They take different things from it. For example, I know you and I are going to rant about this forever, but as someone that goes to the parks all the time with an 8-year-old, I enjoy more of the aesthetic, the attention to detail, the submersive feeling of
Hmm.
being in those gates and knowing what it's like to enter Main Street, USA, and to look at each of those buildings and just know what happened to get there and everything like that. Little kids like Lila, she walks right through there because she
Right.
wants to go straight to Indiana Jones. So it's one of those things where adults pick up different things, but it's just as magical. It might be even more so because we realize how impossible it is to be submersive like that in anything today.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so happy you brought that fact up because that's why I love. I could go to Disneyland. I could not ride a single ride, and I would be as happy as a clam. Like no matter you. Luckily enough, get to go there a lot more. So I'm curious if it's the same sort of deal for you. But like if my whole world's crashing down and just things suck, I could go to the park, take one step in there, be transported to this like new and exotic and retro in a lot of ways place, and all of my worries are just kind of like gone. And
Well, you are more than 100% right. And you know me on a personal level, know that for about a year, I did that exact same thing. When things aren't going right, that's when I decided, hey, let's go to this place where
mm,
nothing on the outside matters. And you enter those gates. Honestly, the second that you walk into downtown Disney, and in my world, when you walk into the mezzanine and you choose, are you going to California Adventure or Disneyland? Everything else is gone. I don't really have many worries. My credit card bill also shows that too because I lose all responsibility of financial obligations when I get home because I will have plans to go in and spend no money and then I'll come out with new shirts and toys and I will have been to Carthay Circle twice and I'm out way more. So you're right. It's completely submersive and they do something great there. They set it apart from the rest of the world.
yeah.
They make everything else better. You don't think about it. It's spectacular.
Right, and it's those details, right? Like
It
a, a,
is.
a kid that loves the rides, they just beeline it to the ride. But as we're walking through, we're noticing all the intricacies of this place, and that's kind of the thing that brings it to life more than anything else. And that's even kind of outside the newer kind of queue stuff that they've done, which is really cool. But it's like
Yep.
we're literally just talking about walking under the train station as you walk into the park, and then walking down Main Street. And a lot of that had to do with well, we'll get into that in a moment. But I did want. I'm glad you brought this up because I think outside of the name Disney and having Disney characters, this is a big connection between Infinity and Disney theme parks. Is that once again we're two adults talking about a child's amusement park, and at the same time we're also two adults talking about more or less a child's game. And it's because there's this connection with adults that even Infinity can take you to these magical places that either you create or that they've built for you, and kind of play around in. And building a lot of times in Infinity is kind of like walking through the park. It's not the doing of the event. It's not like, okay, I'm created this battle, so now let's fight the battle, and that's where the fun comes. It's like, no, we're creating this world, whatever that world is, to kind of transport us, just like walking through Main Street.
Absolutely.
So, well, awesome. Well, I think that might wrap it up for episode 1. This was just kind of our introduction on Disneyland and this show. Now, next episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about Main Street and some history of the park, and then what aspects of that we could incorporate into Disney Infinity. So until then, we will see you next time. And don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like what we do.